With Hashem's help, we are going to learn Masechta Sukkah, which is the 17th Masechta out of the 63 Masechtas of Mishnayos. Mishnayos is divided into 6 Sedarim, 6 orders. This Masechta is in the second Seder called Seder Moyed, the order of time. Now, as an introduction, it says in Sefer Vayikra in Parshas Emor, Basukos Teishvu Shivas Yamim, that you should dwell and live in a sukkah for 7 days. Because when Hashem took the Yidden out of Mitzrayim and brought us into the desert, we, the Yidden, then sat in a sukkah. What was the sukkah that we sat in? It was the Anane HaKavod. It was the clouds of Hashem's glory that He provided for us as protection and for shade from the sun in the desert. Now, before we begin learning this Mishnah, we have to learn 2 important measurements. Measurement number 1 in the singular is called an amma. In the plural, it is called amos. And that's the measurement from a person's elbow until the top of a person's middle finger, which is approximately the measurement of 1.5 feet until 2 feet. In this series, we will consider an amma to be 1.5 feet. The second measurement in the singular is called a tefach. In the plural, it's called tfachim, and it is a handbreadth, which is approximately 3 to 4 inches. And in this series, we will consider a tefach to be 3 inches. We are now going to learn Perek Aleph, Mishnah Aleph. This Mishnah will have 5 dinim, 5 rules regarding building a sukkah. Din number 1 is how tall can I build my sukkah? So there's a machlokes, there's an argument. The first opinion, the Tanna Kama says that a person can build their sukkah up until 20 amos tall, approximately 30 feet. If a person builds their sukkah higher than 20 amos, then their sukkah is pasul. The reason for the Tanna Kama is because a person has to build a temporary structure for their sukkah, and a sukkah higher than 20 amos is permanent. Now, the second opinion, Rabbi Yehuda argues and says that even if a person builds a sukkah higher than 20 amos, it is still kosher. The second din of the Mishnah is what is the lowest that a person can build their sukkah. Says the Mishnah, 10 tfachim, approximately 30 inches. But if a person builds their sukkah lower than 10 tfachim, 9 tfachim, then their sukkah is pasul. The third din of the Mishnah is how many walls do I have to have for my sukkah? Says the Mishnah, a minimum of 3 walls. But if I build a sukkah with only 2 walls, then this sukkah is pasul. The fourth din of the Mishnah is how much schach do I have to place on my sukkah? So says the Mishnah that if when I am sitting in my sukkah and there is sun shining on my sukkah, if in the sukkah there is the same amount of sun as there is shade, then my sukkah is kosher. But if there is more sunlight than shade, then my sukkah is pasul. The fifth and final din of the Mishnah is a machlokes based on the following rule. Does a person have to have kavanah, intention, when they are doing a mitzvah? Beis Shammai holds that yes, you have to have kavanah. And Beis Hillel says no, you do not have to have kavanah. So the fifth case of the Mishnah is what is the din if a person builds an old sukkah, which is a sukkah that they built 30 days or more before Sukkahs. So says Beis Shammai that the sukkah is pasul, because we assume that the person did not have kavanah 30 days or more before Sukkahs, that they built it for the mitzvah of sukkah. However, Beis Hillel argues and says that this sukkah is kosher because regardless, a person does not have to have kavanah, intention, when doing a mitzvah. Now concludes the Mishnah that both opinions agree. Even Beis Shammai says that if a person built a sukkah 30 days or more before Sukkahs, but they did have kavanah, they had intention that they were building this for the sake of a sukkah, then this sukkah is kosher. We are now going to read the Mishnah inside. Din number 1, Sukkah shehi gavoya, a sukkah which is high, l'mayla me'esrim amma, upwards of 20 amos. Says the Tanna Kama Pesula, it is pasul, And Rabbi Yehuda machshir. Rabbi Yehuda argues and says that it is kosher. Now, din 2, 3, and 4, the Mishnah will put together and conclude that these 3 dinim are pasul. Din number 2, v'she'ena gavoya, and a sukkah which is not high, asara tfachim, 10 tfachim. Din number 3, v'she'ena, and a sukkah which does not have shalosh tefanois, 3 walls. Din number 4, v'shechamasa, and a sukkah which its sun miruba is more mitzilasa than its shade. These past 3 dinim pesula. This sukkah is pasul. Din number 5, sukkah yeshana, an old sukkah. There's a machlokes. Beis Shammai paislin. Beis Shammai holds that it is pasul. Ubeis Hillel machshirin, and Beis Hillel holds that it is kosher. Now ask the Mishnah, ve'ezahi, and which is sukkah yeshana, an old sukkah. Says the Mishnah, call any sukkah, sha'asa, which he made it, kaidem lachag, before sukkahs, shleishim yoim, 30 days or more. Concludes the Mishnah that everyone agrees, avol bat im asa, if he made a l'shem chag, for the sake of sukkahs, he had kavana for this mitzvah, then afilu even. Mitchilas hashana, from the beginning of the year, kishera, it is kosher.